Hello and welcome everybody. We are so excited to have Holland America Week this week, and we have back our beautiful Angelle with us today. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm so excited to dive in.
I know we're so excited to learn more about your brand. And before we get started, if you guys have any questions, please put those in chat because we will have Q&A at the end. And if you guys want to rewatch this video, you can find it right here in the videos tab of this page. Without further ado, we're so excited to learn more, and we'll let you get started. Thanks for joining us again.
Thank you. So welcome Archer Evolution Travel. Thank you for having me back today. If you didn't join yesterday or if we haven't met in person, my name's Angelle and I am your business development manager for Archer Evolution Travel, no matter where you're located. So we're going to talk today about our brand, our beginnings, our top destinations, and scaling your bottom line with a customer growth plan. So to begin, Holland America is owned by Carnival Corporation, and it's important to understand this to plan out your customer life cycle growth plan. Our brands are built to seamlessly take a customer through a life cycle journey, and this often begins with Carnival Cruise Line. They are the entry point, and it's a cost-driven based model that's going to entice a lot of clients to begin there. So Carnival Corporation also has your premium brands like Holland America and ultra luxury lines like Seabourn that allow your clients to grow through our products. So start with Carnival, move to Holland America, and then move on to Seabourn. And then sister brands have a likewise path, but we're going to stick to what I cover today because I'm also your Seabourn business development manager as well. But we're just focusing on Holland America today. So let's move forward with how this all works, right? So when you're developing your customer growth plan, you're going to have two entry points. First, first-time cruisers that you're going to place on Holland America line sailing first, or Carnival cruisers that have been on that brand multiple times, and you're ready to take them to the next level and scale them up to a premium market. So our journey began 151 years ago with Holland America, and we began with transatlantic voyages that sailed from Europe and the US and back and forth. And we are a Dutch heritage company, and we honor that heritage with a Dutch Day on every sailing and an orange party the night of the Dutch Day to honor that heritage. So we like to reuse names a lot. So if someone has told you, I sailed on the Rotterdam in the 80s or the 90s or even the early 2000s, they probably have, and it is not today's ship. We also introduced the Rotterdam of present in 2021, and she was the newest to enter the fleet. So when you're considering who to book or who to scale to Holland America, you're going to look at your clients that like to explore in depth. They're going to want to really connect with the destination. They're foodies, they're music lovers, and they don't need water slides or roller coasters or go-karts anymore. But they do want perfectly sized ships that are refreshingly uncrowded, and they have one-of-a-kind experiences. And these clients are often mid-40s and up on our 7 to 11-day journeys, and they're going to be 60 and up for our longer itineraries. So what makes a Holland America cruise line truly different is the attention and service that is enjoyed on all of our ship. It's about attention to detail every day. When your clients come on our ship, our room stewards know their name as they're walking down the hallway. They've already gotten a picture of what they look like because they did their pre-embark paperwork online. And so they know what they look like, and they're looking for them to greet them by name. This is something that we entered into service into 1996. We developed the service of excellence, and it really ushered in premium cruising as you know it today. You know, when you've been in business 151 years, you're going to introduce a lot of industry first. And so premium cruising was actually brought into the realm of cruising by Holland America. We have over 450 ports of call to all 7 continents, which means there's a perfect Holland America line vacation cruise for anyone to go anywhere. We offer 5 convenient North America home ports that can take your guests all over the world. And we do have programming called See the World from Your Doorstep that actually allows you to travel to many destinations far and wide, Europe, Africa, South America, and Australia, all from the U.S. Home ports. And you can see that depicted in this slide. So being on board a Holland America ship is going to remind you of the sea, and it's going to let you find the perfect nook and cranny to get in, to relax, get a book, relax, refresh, and be ready for the journey ahead. It's really about the destination and going there, and our ships look like ships, right? And we call that classic cruising. So they're perfectly sized, they're refreshingly uncrowded, and I'll give you a perfect example. I hosted a FAM last July, and when we got on the ship, I asked the travel advisors, how full do you think, what capacity do you think we're sailing at? And they all said to me, probably about 75, and we were actually 100% committed. So that really tells you how we build the ships to feel spacious, so that you never feel like you're in crowds, you never feel like you're on top of people or waiting in long lines for things. And on average, our staterooms are going to be 25% larger than our competitors. So we have a timeless design, sleek nautical lines, distinctive blue hulls, and thoughtfully designed suites and staterooms that feature museum quality art and fresh flowers throughout the ship. So we have 11 fantastic options for guests to choose from in a variety of sizes. Our Rotterdam class is going to hold 1,400 guests. You're going to bump up to that Vista class with 4 ships serving 1,900 guests. Then you hit the Signature class with 2,100, and finally the Pinnacle class, which is going to serve 2,600. Now, these ships are going to have a variety of options that we're going to get into for guests to enjoy with nighttime entertainment. Some, like the Pinnacle class, are going to host all of our options and all of our specialty dining options. The Signature, Vista, and Rotterdam class will be scaled down because they're smaller and they can't hold all of those venues. But you can go to onesourcecruises.com, select Holland America, and we actually have a paper that will tell you exactly what dining options and what venues are on each particular ship, and I can send that out to you all tomorrow as well. So culinary is a staple of our brand, and we offer a variety of fine dining options, like I mentioned before, with specialty dining for a nominal fee, but we're the only cruise line to offer fresh, sustainable seafood, and we're really proud of this. It's actually a very hard certificate to achieve, and we worked really diligently to earn that certificate, and we have it in most every destination now. We got it in Alaska first, and then we moved to other ports of call. It's incredibly difficult to get in Europe, and we actually have grabbed that certification there. So we're really excited about that. But with our port-to-plate seafood options, we're going to offer 60 ports. We've partnered with 80 local fisheries, and we have a commitment 48 hours port-to-plate. There is not a fresher catch at sea for your guests to enjoy. And our fresh fish ambassador is going to be Chef Mirimoto. He actually has a dedicated restaurant on our New Amsterdam ship, and then he has pop-up experiences on the remainder of our fleet. Now, we could see some more Mirimotos pop up on our other ships because we are getting fantastic reviews on how this is going, but the dedicated restaurant in New Amsterdam is fabulous, and guests do get that full option of a menu in Pinnacle Grill one night of every sailing for the pop-up experiences on our other ships. And I'll give you a little tip to recommend. Pad Thai, the Angry Pad Thai is fabulous. Tell your clients to order that. It's wonderful. So the Music Walk offers a variety of onboard nightly entertainment. We've got BB King's. It's going to be your blues club. That is going to be on your Pinnacle class ships only. Then we have Rolling Stones Rock Room. That's going to be on all of our fleet, and it's going to offer rock. We have Billboards Onboard. It is on most of our fleet, and that's going to be dueling pianos that play top chart hits. And then Lincoln Center Stage, which is actually now performed on the main stage, or world stage rather, on most every ship, but in particular our Pinnacle class ships, and that's going to be a string quartet. So we're a Dutch heritage company, right? And we're really known for Alaska. So how did we get to Alaska? Well, until the late 70s, transatlantic voyages and actually passengers coming from the old world to the new world to live, to make their new lives, was actually our main product line. That's what we sold and did the most of, these transatlantic pleasure or passenger voyages. And in the late 70s, that's when the jet age comes about, right? And so when you can get somewhere in 14 hours rather than 2 weeks, it really is going to impact your business model, right? So we had to take a hard look at, hey, our main bread and butter is being impacted. Where do we shift? Well, in 1947, a gentleman named David West had opened a company called West Tours in Alaska. And he was chartering our ships to bring guests into this last frontier, which was actually not even a state yet, right? That doesn't happen for quite some time. So he's bringing us in, he's chartering our ships, and we started buying in, starting in 1947, 15% shares at a time. Well, when we're really impacted by the jet age, we buy those remaining shares, and then we take in totality the permits to Glacier Bay that David West has, and that's when we start operating as We Love Alaska, Holland America. So we had been calling on those Alaskan shores since 1947 in union with David West, and that's before it's even a state, and we gather those permits. Now, you're going to hear my sister brand Princess say that they bring more people into Glacier Bay than any other cruise line, and you're going to hear us say we have more permits. And so people often ask me, well, what does that mean? What is the difference, right? And so the difference is, and these are arbitrary numbers, I'm just using them to simplify what it means, right? So let's say Princess has 5 permits. Well, that means they have to be very strategic on what itineraries go into Glacier Bay, right? Because they've only got 5 permits that they can utilize. And their ships are larger. They're going to carry like 4,500 guests at times. So they can physically bring in more permit on a very finite, defined itinerary that includes Glacier Bay. We hold so many permits that you can go all over Alaska, and we're still going to include Glacier Bay on like 95% of those itineraries. So it's not just Ketchikan, Juneau, and Skagway and Glacier Bay. It's going to be, you can go visit Whittier, and we're going to have a permit to Glacier Bay to take you in. Where you can go to Homer, Glacier Bay, right? Sitka, go to Glacier Bay. So the opportunities are endless to get your clients into Glacier Bay. And we know that that is why the guests are going into Alaska, because they want to see these blue-hued giants, right? So what are the top reasons to sail with Holland America to Alaska? Well, we're #1 in Alaska wildlife and wilderness tours. So we offer more opportunities to see wildlife than any other cruise line. We have 175 plus animal sanctuary and sightseeing opportunities for your guest. We also offer more opportunities to see those Alaska glaciers we just talked about. Then we have our 360-degree destination programming. So this is going to be all-encompassing. Like, for instance, we have a partnership with Food and Wine magazine, and you can take an EXC culinary shore excursion where you go fishing for salmon, and you can bring it back on board, and we're going to cook it, we're going to clean it, we're going to cook it, and serve it to you for dinner, right? So this is like really a 360-degree experience that you're not going to get anywhere else. We're also going to offer complimentary Denali and tours when your guests go on our cruise tours, and then we have the exclusive Yukon access. And I'm going to dive deeper into that in a little bit. And then, of course, that fresh Alaska seafood that we talked about with the 48 hours of port to plate. Now, every Alaska vacation is going to include a Glacier Day. So those Glacier Days are going to offer expanded daily programming that are going to highlight the glacier sightseeing times, because there are different times that you're going to see different glaciers as you're cruising along that inside passage, and we're bouncing into Glacier Bay at the end. Now, we have National Park Service Rangers that actually climb onto our ships when we get into Glacier Bay. And we have Hoona tribesmen as well. They're going to climb on board as well. So the National Park Rangers are going to talk to you about the science of the glaciers. The Hoona tribesmen are going to talk to you about what it means to their culture, why Glacier Bay is so intrinsic and important to their tribe. And then we have naturalists on board that are going to point out wildlife to you. When we get to the glaciers, it is a very exciting experience. We open up the bow of the ship and we invite your guests to come join us. Now, I'll tell you, it says weather permitting. I have never seen us not offer the bow open. I've stood out there in the rain, and we have complimentary umbrellas when it is raining, and you can go out there. When we get to the glacier, you're going to be so close to it that you can actually hear it making noise. We call it hearing it living and breathing, right? You're going to hear the little cracks and the nuances of the noises that it makes, and we're going to do a 360-degree rotation, so that ship is going to totally spin, so that if your guests want to look from their balcony, or if they want to view it from the sea view pool on the aft of the ship, they have the option to do that. We're actually there for so long that if they want to go on the bow and then they want to head back to the sea view pool to catch that rotation and get that glimpse again, they can do that as well. So we're going to have a what to expect presentation one day prior to entering Glacier Bay, where you're going to get a full read of what we're going to do, who's joining us, and your guests are going to know all this. So you can tell them, and then they're going to be reminded at that what to expect presentation. We have informational viewing stations, and these are going to be noted with placards around the ships, and it'll tell you what you're going to be looking at and what times, so that if they miss the presentation, they can still get a lot of information along the way. When you're on the bow, you have glacier photo opportunities. We do have our photographers up there, and we also serve glacial ice cocktails. Now, this is responsibly done. It's glacier ice that is already calved into the water, and we partner with a company that has certifications to go in and scoop up that glacial ice, and then we buy it from them and we make cocktails out of it, and we also serve hot cocoa. So a variety of options, a little something for everybody when we're in Glacier Bay. And we are so just committed, and we're so committed and know that we're going to be able to deliver glaciers to your clients that we have introduced our Glacier Guarantee. So if your clients don't see a glacier on their itinerary that includes Glacier Bay, they're going to get a future cruise credit equal to 15% of the fare. And it's going to be applicable to 24 and 2025 Alaska cruises and cruise tours, with the exception of the 4 noted on the screen here. But we're very confident that we're going to let you see some glaciers. There's going to be no doubt about it. So our onboard and onshore offerings for your clients include Alaska cruises, and then we have the Alaska cruise tours, right? So this is going to give your clients the chance to whale watch. They're going to be able to spot the big 5 on land. They're going to really get that full experience. So those cruise tours are going to come in 2 regards. You're going to have our one-of-a-kind cruise-only options. You can do Denali only, or you can do Denali and the Yukon. And as mentioned before, we are the only providers that can take your guest into the Yukon. Now, on the land, we do offer a dining plan, and I highly recommend this upsell. You should always be presenting the dining plan to your guest for the cruise tours, because the meals are not included, because we don't own and operate those restaurants on land, but we do have partnerships, right? And so this will save them, and food can be quite expensive in Alaska, particularly in Anchorage. It's going to be very high, so this is a wonderful opportunity to not only sell them money, but upsell them and bring that commission up, right? So when you are on our land tours, we own and operate our own private chalet. It's called McKinley Chalet. It's shown here. It's going to be your base for everything, right? And this is located at the gates of Denali National Park. We own 60 acres right at the entrance, and we also own and operate the McKinley Explorer, and that's going to be our luxury domed rail car. Now, if your clients are doing a cruise tour, I always recommend land first, because you're getting up really early in the morning. It's pretty go, 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 and you know how you go to a vacation and you're like, I need a vacation from my vacation? Well, when they get on the ship, it's like that vacation from a vacation. So unless they're really pushing for sea first, land second, if they're asking what should I do first, say land first, cruise second, and give them those reasons why, right? Lots of early mornings. So if they're doing that, land first, they're going to fly into Anchorage, and they're going to spend the night at a hotel, and the very next morning we're going to bus them over to the train station, and they're going to board the McKinley Explorer. They're going to ride in on that luxury domed rail car, full views you can see in that bottom right hand picture, and animal spot along the way. I saw a moose the last time I was traveling by this, and a caribou. And we also saw some bears. So great, fantastic sightseeing on the way in, and then it's going to take us to McKinley Chalet. There is a bus ride that takes you from the train station to the actual chalet, and that's when you'll get into your room. Now, another upsell option for your clients are these Denali Suites. They're very limited, so if the opportunity comes up and you get an email that says your client can upgrade to a Denali Suite, jump on it. The location of these suites is fantastic. It's well situated to the actual heart of the chalet, the lodge where all the dining is, and it also has the views of the river, and it's just wonderful, wonderful and peaceful, and a very upgraded experience. You can see in the picture, really fabulous accommodations. Now in Denali Square, you're also going to have an opportunity to eat. We have some dining options like Karsten's, and then we have live performances. Now here's a picture of what that actually looks like. So the building you see, that's Karsten's. That's going to be a nice restaurant for your guests. It serves breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Right to the right, I'm going to kind of put my cursor over here so you can see it. Oh, you can't see my cursor. Well, if you look to the right, there's another like shorter building, and that is where the Music of Denali experience. And it's dinner theater. It's super hokey, but it's a lot of fun. It's cute. It's definitely something you walk away remembering. And then we have fire pits for your guests to enjoy s'more making, and we're going to have live entertainment. There's always somebody out there playing guitar, singing, a little three-piece band. So lots to see and do in Denali Square. Now, if your guests opt to go into the Yukon is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, and Dawson City is going to be your home base. This is a picture of Dawson City here. It is like a little time that has stood still. Now, when your guests go, I'm going to recommend that you tell them to go to the City Museum and watch the video, and it's going to talk about Dawson City. Now, Dawson City in 1896, there was gold discovered there, and it brought in a wealth and a frenzy like had never been experienced before. So prospectors were making the treacherous journey to the Yukon. Lots of people perished. This was a very difficult journey to make into the Yukon to actually get that gold and harvest it, right? And so it's a really rich history. It's a lot to learn, experience. You can also visit Jack London's cabin and Robert Frost, his cabin as well. So it's really, if somebody is into history, if somebody loves the gold rush era, this is the trip that you need to recommend from them. Or if somebody's been to Alaska, right? Maybe they've already done our sea journey and they're like, I've been to Alaska. Okay, but have you been to Denali? And have you been to the Yukon? It's a fabulous way to get them back there because we know our mariners, and the mariners are the guests that are our repeat cruisers, right? That's what we call them. We know that our mariners love our voyages, and they are open to going on our voyages again as long as they're going to have a little differentiator in what the experience is like. And here it is for them. Now, we talked about Alaska, and I want to briefly, very briefly, narrow in on Europe because this is our second most popular destination. Now, in Europe, your guests are going to, oh, it's a little slow going. There we go, sorry. We're going to offer your guests curated voyages and onshore experiences. They're going to have longer port stays than with other cruise lines. We're going to stay into the wee hours of the night to give your guests a full opportunity to dine if they'd like to in the port, walk down those storied streets of Europe. I mean, lots of opportunity to experience the port on an in-depth level. We're always going to have our perfectly sized ships taking your guests there and that award-winning personalized service. And we have flexible itineraries. So our 2025 Europe season is going to feature an array of 7 to 35-day sailings, as well as 14 to 42-day collector's voyages. Now, a collector's voyage is going to, in essence, be a back-to-back sailing but you can book it as one. And what's wonderful about that is you're tracking one commission, right? There's no two commissions. You're not trying to figure out if you can get your guests back into the same stateroom. As long as they would like the same level of stay throughout, the collector's voyage is going to give them that. So it's really wonderful. And when I say same level, I mean like being in a veranda throughout, or being in a signature suite or a Neptune suite throughout their journey, right? So our itineraries are globally recognized for their longer voyages, and it ensures that your client's experience is the very best in the region. And of course, we have those fresh local favorites. So our food is always going to be intrinsic to that destination, and we're going to cook it with local ingredients, and the wine is going to be locally sourced. So in Europe, we are going to visit over 100 UNESCO World Heritage Sites. Lots of opportunity for your clients to really visit some of those wonders of the world, right, and beyond. Now, in all of our destinations, your guest can add Have It All to their package. Have It All is going to be our premium product that gives your clients an all-inclusive feel, right? It's going to give specialty dining credits. It's going to give up to $300 in shore excursion credits, depending on their stateroom they're in. It's going to provide a signature beverage package, and it's going to give them Wi-Fi in the surf package. Now, when we first open a product, and when I say product, I'm always referring to a destination. You're going to hear me slip into that a lot. So, for instance, we've got lots of opportunity for 2026 out right now, right? And we've released that very recently. So when we offer a new destination and we release it for the new year, for 90 days, it's typically 90 days, we're going to offer an early booking bonus to Have It All. And with that early booking bonus, it's going to be an upgraded beverage package. Instead of Signature, they're going to get Elite. Instead of the Surf Wi-Fi, which is just for surfing around, they're going to get the premium Wi-Fi. So checking emails, they're going to actually be able to watch TV on their phone if they want to stream something, right? And then it's going to offer the free prepaid crew gratuities. That is by far the biggest sell, and it's built to get your clients to book right away, right? The earlier, the better that you can lock them in, and those prepaid gratuities do it. And then during the time period that the Have It All early booking bonus is available, your clients are going to get the low price guarantee. So if that price drops during that time, they're guaranteed to get that price lowered. So it's really safeguarding their opportunities to sail. Now, there's a caveat to this. We typically offer it in Alaska much, much longer than 90 days. Like, you can still get it on 2025 Alaska right now. So if you have anybody that would like Alaska, talk to them, because they can still get that early booking bonus for Have It All for 2025 Alaska. And it's a wonderful upsell. Now, another great upsell is going to be Club Orange. A lot of people don't know about Club Orange. It's like a little hidden secret, right? So the way that we have our stateroom structured, you know, of course, we have interior, ocean view, veranda. Then it's going to go to Signature, and then it's going to go to Neptune and Pinnacle. Now, when you're in Neptune and you're in Pinnacle Suites, you're going to get a variety of amenities. You're going to get access to our Neptune Lounge. You're going to get priority access and check-in if we ever have to tender. You're going to get priority disembarkation, premium dining in a dedicated dining called Club Orange on our Pinnacle class ships. And in our other ships, you're going to have like a dedicated area, and it's going to be front of the line service. You're also going to get complimentary stateroom upgrades, right? So let's say you have a client and they've sailed Holland America before, and they're like, hey, I've seen those Neptune suites, right? Or I've seen that Neptune Lounge. What's that about? And you provide them a price. And they're like, well, I'm not ready to make that jump yet, right? Like, that might be a little too much out of my pocketbook at this time. Offer them Club Orange, right? Because they can be in a signature suite, they can be in a veranda, they can be in an ocean view. You need to call in for this because it is limited in availability. Call reservations, ask is Club Orange available. It's $25 per person a day for 1 to 12 day cruises, and then $15 per person a day for 13+ day cruises. And this is going to give your clients those amenities. Now, we're doing this as a stair-step product, right? Because once your clients experience the amenities, the next time they go, and you offer them that Neptune suite, they're going to bite because they already know what they're going to get. They know the amenities, and instead of paying for it separate and not having the full experience, because the one caveat is they're not going to have access to the Neptune lounge. It's like the one thing that we keep out and dangle so that you can offer them the Neptune suite. So it's a great stair-step product to get your clients into those higher stateroom categories. Now, let's talk about groups, Holland America groups. We have a fabulous groups program. We have an entire dedicated department, right? So we're going to offer you a gap menu. We have small affinity groups that we're going to talk about in a minute. We offer custom shore excursions for your groups, and then we offer tour conductor credits. Now, when you're looking to open group space, the best way to do this is going to be call Onboard Services first. You can even email Onboard Services. And I have lots of documents that I can send you guys with all this information on it. You're going to call Onboard Services and you're going to say, hey, I have a group of 32 people. They are going to need some meeting space. They would like to discuss an author, right? Or maybe they want to play bridge together. Possibly it's a group of people that came on board to do pickleball and they need our pickleball courts, right? Onboard Services is going to tell you what's available and what times so that we make sure that your group is set up for success. We don't ever want your group to get on board and not get what they need or what they told you that they want to experience on the ship as a group together. They're also going to tell you if a cocktail party is available. So start with Onboard Services, then you're going to open up your group space allocation from there. Now, what's really unique about Holland America too is if you book a client into a promotion as an individual booking, you can pull that booking into group space. So it's a great way to take advantage of our promos. Now, 75% of people who have never cruised before are willing to go on a group cruise to be with their friends or their family. And 60% of first-time cruisers cruise to Alaska. Our fastest growing cruise vacation groups are families and multi-generational groups, baby boomers, and food and wine spirit groups. Now, for food and wine for 2025, we have a fabulous opportunity for guests to wine tasting groups to come on board, and we can actually waive up to 8 bottles per stateroom as long as they are being used for the tastings. So it's a great way to get those wine groups on board and not have them incur additional cost to be able to taste the wines. So we also offer a family reunion package, and this is all going to, we're going to steer towards this in a second, but our fastest growing groups are going to be multi-generational families going together. And we have a wonderful program I'm going to talk about in a second. But if your guests are a family traveling together and they don't want gap amenities, like maybe they're like, hey, we have little children and we can't all utilize like a cocktail party together, right? This family reunion package can be used in lieu of gap points, and it's wonderful because it gives a free stateroom upgrade for the head of the family between meta categories. It's going to give 1 Pinnacle Grill lunch per person, $25 onboard credit per person, and then a $20 photo credit per stateroom. So lots of opportunity for them to build memories, make memories, and capture those memories on that trip together. Now, if you have families traveling together, or let's say you opened up group space of 32 and maybe you only booked 30 guests into that, as long as you have 24 guests or fewer, let's say 24 or fewer, and you've opened group space, you can email me and say, hey, Angelle, I want to turn this into a connections group. Now, the caveat is it has to be a true connection. It can't be random bookings of people that don't know each other. It has to be groups going together, like pickleball, quilting and knitting groups, bridge players, educational seminars. This can be small dance camps, wine and cheese tastings, and it can be families traveling together. I'm going to make it a connections group. I process the paperwork for you, and it's going to lower those TCs to 1 to 10, where they were 1 to 12 before, and then it's going to give your guest 2 extra gap points per group. So it's a wonderful way to still provide the amenities that you are publicizing, even if you don't hit the 32 member requirement for the large group space. And another important note, with our groups, we never require a deposit until bookings start being made. So you don't have to take out the group space and hold it with a deposit. There's really there's not going to be a chance of you losing any money on this, right? We're really going to safeguard you here. And with our groups, the biggest things that you're going to need to remember are you're going to need to allocate your gap points 90 days out, or your guests will lose them. They have to be allocated. And we do review group space at 120 days, 150, 120, and then at 90 days to make sure that the space is being filled. So currently we do have our anniversary sale going on, and it's going to offer up to 45% off, and it's going to give up to $300 in onboard credit plus a 50% reduced deposit. Now, I have a special offer for Archer only that's going to begin on Friday that's going to be combinable with this. But something I want to really stress about sales is sales can offer a value, right? But I want you to always think about sales as a tool for scaling your clients, right? This is a way to overcome objections for those clients that might have said, I don't want to pay for the signature suite, out of my budget. Hey, I'm going to just do that ocean view because the veranda, little too much to spend right now. A sale is going to make that attainable, and it's always going to be moving them up that scale, right? Because there's going to be scales within the brand, right? Carnival, Holland America, and then Seabourn. But when you're looking within the brand itself, you want to be scaling your clients through the products as well to get them to that point that you can move them to Seabourn. So you can have a client come in and maybe they start at a guaranteed inside, right? Take a sale like this, move them up to Ocean View. Take a sale like this, move them up to the veranda. Move a veranda guest up to those premium suites. You're constantly scaling and bringing your business growth higher and higher, right? And you're going to be moving that customer journey along the way. Now here's the exclusive offer for Archer, beginning Friday and running 7 consecutive days. We have onboard credit, and it's going to be per stateroom or suite. It's going to start at $35 for those interiors, and it's going to go all the way up to $100 for cruises and $150 for cruise tours. And I want to go over some contact information for you. Now this can be found on OneSource, but we have a full travel advisor department dedicated for your needs. So within that support, you're going to have onesourcecruises.com, your general reservations number for all your reservation needs, reservations accounting if you have a question about commissions. You know, if you have anything where maybe you had a collector's voyage and you're only seeing one commission come through, hey, when can I expect the second if it's a back-to-back and not a collector's, excuse me. Reservations accounting is the place for that. We have world cruise reservations. This is going to be for our grand world voyages. We have ship inventory. That's going to be for you to discuss any kind of needs on the ship. So if you have a large group that wants dining, ship inventory is going to help you tell you if that ship has the availability for the large group to dine. Onboard Services can help you as well, but this is another direct number for that. Ship inventory can also help you with any amenities that you'd like to provide for your guests. So if you want to buy them a little gift, ship inventory can help you with that. Guest relations is going to be for any post-cruise questions, post-cruise concerns, or if someone's currently on a ship and needs assistance, they're always going to see guest relations on the ship. So guest relations here is for after they debark. And then shore excursions is going to be there for all your shore excursion needs. We also have a group department for incentives and charters. So if you have a group that's growing, and they need a whole ship, charters is going to be the way, but you always want to come to me first so that I can make sure we're going to be able to fit the group's needs. Group administration is going to be for any groups that are already in place. That's when you're going to start with groups administration. We have a dedicated air and sea department. Group shore excursions, like I said before, if you have 32 guests and you want to build a custom excursion for them, the group shore excursions is the place to be. And then that onboard event services for your groups, and then ship services also. So we also offer travel advisor standby rates, and I highly recommend taking the opportunity to utilize these rates to familiarize yourself with our ships if you have not already. So those are going to be on OneSource, and they're going to be under travel advisor rates. And then there's a list of bookings, or a list of sailings, excuse me, that you can choose from. It is robust. tons of opportunities to go all over the world on a travel advisor standby rate. We also have guest accessibility for your clients that might have medical needs or medical equipment that they need to bring on board. We have a documentations department. So if somebody's calling you and saying, hey, do I need a visa? Do I need a passport? If you need those questions answered and you're not quite sure, we have a department for that. And then we have brochures and sales materials as well. And you can always contact me for any of this as well. I can always lead you in the right direction, or I can provide you the information directly. So I so appreciate you taking the time to be with me today. I hope that I've answered all your questions, but if you've got questions, send them to me. I really want to hear them. So Amanda, I'm throwing it back to you for those questions.
Perfect. So we have some questions.
Okay.
And the first question is, where can I find all of your departure ports?
So you can find them on One Source Cruises through Polar. If you're not really familiar with Polar, there is instructions on One Source Cruises, tells you exactly how to do it, and they're really step-by-step. So it's wonderful. And then we also just have the general site, hollandamerica.com. If you want to do it quicker, you can go there and see all of our destinations.
Perfect. Next question is, which ship has BB King?
So BB King's is going to be on the Konings Dam, the Rotterdam, and the Neustadt Dam. And those are triplets. They all feature the exact same amenities.
Perfect. Where in Alaska are the wildlife sanctuaries located?
All over. I mean, literally every port, we have a wildlife sanctuary, whether it's for bears, like in Sitka, or it could be for birds of prey. We have those in Juneau. I mean, they're everywhere. And I'll tell you, if your clients are looking for whale watching, always recommend Juneau for whale watching. They will absolutely see whales.
Next question is, thank you so much. And also people were like, wonderful presentation, appreciate you so much, and they said thank you.
Oh, thank you guys. It was a lot. I was trying to get out as much as I could, so I went through a lot of info.
I love that. And they learned a lot too, I know.
Good.
So the next question is Denali tour a one-day tour?
So it can be. We have a variety of options. They can be 1 to 3 days for Denali, or you can do a double Denali where you visit 1 to 3 days and then come back for 1 to 3 days.
Perfect. Okay, next question is, do we need a passport for the Alaska cruise tours or any Alaska cruise?
So it depends on the itinerary. If you're not going to get off the ship, you don't necessarily have to have it if you go out of Seattle, but it is always recommended, always, because you never know what can happen, right? And it's always best when we're in international waters and we're going, especially because we make that stop in Victoria because it's required. You know, if you're not getting off the ship, it's okay. But, you know, chances are you're probably going to want to step off the ship, and we always just stress passports are recommended.
Perfect. Next question is, I travel solo often. Are there accommodations for solo travelers?
So there are. They're going to be mostly on our Pinnacle class ships. We do have solo traveler staterooms there. And I just want to go back really quick. For cruise tours, you are going to have a passport, because when you go into the Yukon especially, you are going into Canada.
Yeah, that does make sense. Next question is, will the slides for this presentation be available for our use afterwards?
Absolutely. I'll send them all to you.
Okay, perfect. So once I receive them, I will post them for you guys on the Travel Cafe website.
And if you have any other questions, or you want more in-depth information on a particular destination or something that we talked about here and you want more, just contact me. We can get on a call. I can tell you all you need to know and more. I can talk for days.
I love that. And again, your email is amorley@hollandamerica.com. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Perfect. Okay, next question is, Alaska, is it family friendly? I mean, small children. Is there any age restrictions or requirements?
So, well, cruising in general, a baby has to be like 6 months old to sail, especially with our centers. But no, it is absolutely family friendly. You are going to find so many families going with us, multi-generational families, especially in June and July in Alaska. It is tremendous. So in our crow's nest, which is on the 12th deck, we have board games up there. We have puzzles. I mean, there's lots of things for families to do together. Tons of lounging space for you to do this all together at. And then we do have kids clubs on board our ships. They're divided into 3 different age ranges. So it's going to be like 3 to 6. 7 to 12, and then 13 and up, or 13 to 17. And fun story, so we were on the ship like a couple weeks ago, and my son turned 18 midway through the cruise. So like the first 2 days he could go into the kids club for teens, and then like by the 3rd day he was kicked out because he was 18. So they're very strict and monitor that.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome. Next question is, this one's I was trying to figure out the TA rates. There's a paper form, but it needs someone from Archer to write a letter, very old school in my opinion, and it also wants a list from Archer too. Am I going about it the right way or a wrong way for getting TA rates?
So there is a form that you do have to fill out, and Archer does have to provide some information, and I know it might seem old school, but it's really meant to protect everyone and make sure that somebody that might have left Archer is not trying to use the Archer benefit and no longer be part of the organization. So it is, but it does happen very quickly. And you can always reach out to me too if you have anything you're unsure of on the paperwork that it's asking for.
Perfect. Okay, thank you.
Sure.
And you guys just need to reach out to the Archer office and they'll direct you in the right direction on how to get that written letter, and it gets out pretty quick, not like very quick. So, next question is, do all of your ships have pickleball courts?
Yes, and the new Staten Dam has 2. But we're the official partners of PPG, so, and that's the big pickleball association. So all of our equipment, all of our courts are PPG certified.
Perfect. That's really great. Everyone's like, it's the huge craze right now in pickleball.
Wild, yes.
My parents got pickleball set and they've been playing pickleball with anyone who will play with them. They're like, pickleball? I'm like, oh my gosh, you guys are obsessed. Okay. Anyways, next question. Do we need to finish courses okay, we already asked that question. Oh, actually we didn't. Do they need to finish courses before they can get the TA discount?
It is one of the requirements.
Perfect. When is the best time, in your opinion, to cruise to Yukon and Denali?
Oh, okay. So there's always a good time to cruise to Alaska and to the Yukon and Denali. It just depends on what you're looking for, right? So our season is really long. Our season is like mid-April to mid-October. It's the longest season of anybody. We dedicate 6 ships to taking guests into these ports and to taking guests into the Yukon during that time. So in April, May, it's going to be like springtime weather. I mean, like flowers everywhere, land animals in abundance, but it can be cold at night. I mean, it can still be in the 20s at night. And some of the shops on land are not open yet because they're probably still trying to get their homes livable from the cold temps that they just came out of. When you get into summer months, it's going to be very warm. Like, it's surprising how warm it gets there. It can get up to 80 degrees. I was in a t-shirt and I actually took a shore excursion in Fairbanks and went to the Arctic Circle, and I was just in a sweatshirt and nothing else, and I was quite comfortable. So comfortable temps in summer. Lots of crowds though, so that's kind of the pro and con to it, but that also means like a lot of liveliness, right? So it just depends on what somebody's looking for. And then when you get into like September, October, best time to see Aurora Borealis, although, I mean, look at everything that people were seeing in this last week in Alaska and then in the US. Wild, right? Mm-hmm. With that. So, but better chance in those years that those solar flares are not so abundant is going to be September, October. So if somebody comes to you and is like, I want to see Aurora Borealis. Of course, we can't guarantee it, but tell them September, October. If they're like, oh, I really want that springtime, shoulder season, April, May. And if they're like, I want to bring my whole family, summer.
I love that. You answered 2 questions in one, so that was perfect. And then when we create a package, do we have to call all these different phone numbers, or do we just have to call one department?
Reservations can help you with everything. So those individual numbers are just meant to be if, let's say, okay, like for instance, let's say you book an all-inclusive package and then you have air in it and the airline makes an adjustment to the schedule, right? Like we don't have control over that, but you're like, I don't like this new adjustment. Like I've got to get my client on a different flight because they don't want to leave their house at 4 in the morning or something, right? That's when you would call those individual numbers. That's what they're there for like the intermediate, but you don't have to call them to piecemeal all of this out. Reservations can do it all.
Perfect. I'm not really sure I understand this question, Shauna. Maybe you understand this question. I'll just ask
Okay.
you. What is the requirements in order to get a recording artist to perform, or is it allowed?
It's so it is allowed, but it's going to be allowed through like a group, right? So if there's somebody that just wants to like perform for the whole ship, that they would have to like go through the process of like trying to get a job with the cruise line. But if it's like an artist that has a following and they want to bring a group on and play for them, that's when we call Onboard Services and say, hey, we have somebody, they play instruments, they like to play for their group, and you know, can we utilize BB King's for that? What times is it available? Can we utilize Rolling Stones Rock Room? That's how that would go.
Perfect. Well, I'm glad that you understood the question. Next question is, do you offer, I think you touched on, I already heard you touch on this earlier, but I'll just repeat it just in case the agent didn't hear it. Do you offer fam trips, and do you have a fort in Florida?
We do. So both, yes to both. We have fam trips that go all over the world, and we have TA rates that go all over the world. And then we also have the port in Florida is going to be Fort Lauderdale. That's where we port out of. Now, nothing's set yet, but I'm really working on trying to offer a fam exclusively to Archer for 2025. So I've already put the word in, and I'll let you guys know as soon as I have movement on it.
Well, perfect. Well, thank you so much. Amazing questions, amazing presentation as well. It's commendable for all you travel agents joining us today, wanting to learn and invest in yourself to get to know the Holland America line better and just become a better travel agent. So give you guys pat yourself on the back. There we go. That's what I was trying to say. And then, Angelle, thank you so much. Wonderful presentation, great energy, great vibe. Loved all the knowledge and information. So just thank you all. Is there anything else that you would like to add before we close out today?
Just join us Thursday. I'm going to be on with Ron, and we're going to give away a cruise on Holland America. So keep joining me for all this fun stuff.
I know you have lots of fun stuff going on this week. Definitely don't miss out tomorrow. Angelle will be joining him at 4:15 tomorrow on Ron's Zoom call. So we're not live on Facebook or YouTube or anywhere. We're live just on Zoom. So make sure you join Ron's Zoom call tomorrow evening. So thank you again. We're so excited to have you. We're excited for everyone to join. And until next time, keep learning during Holland America Week, and everyone have a great day.
See you guys at convention. Bye.
Oh, yeah. Convention.
Yeah.